For those of you who don't know us here at RPAG, we have advisors across the country that utilize our platform. We're the number one practice management platform in the retirement plan industry. And really, what we are aimed at is helping advisors like you grow your book of business through several different resources. A lot of them are based through technology. Some of them are through the wonderful people that we have in-house with a lot of different retirement plan expertise. So talking a little bit about this, I wanted to really quickly capture, a lot of the different resources that we have on one screen here. Now, this is a lot, I know. We'll touch on a lot of this as we're going through here. But with the RPAG resources, where I really like to start is not with the technology, but with our service and support that we provide to advisory firms. So with such a vast set of resources that we offer, it can be a little bit overwhelming. We always say it can be a little bit like drinking from a fire hose. And so that's why we always put the service and onboarding that we provide advisory firms front and center with when we onboard these firms. So we have over 50 team members here at RPAG, and we have team members that fit all of your different needs. So everything from an ERISA compliance team to an investment team with CFAs on it, to folks that can help with technology support, sales and marketing support, et cetera. Really, we want to be your partner and help growing your firm. So we're not a technology platform that's just going to give you a login and say good luck. We really want to be there to help answer any questions that you and your team have on the RPAG platform. Now, one of the questions I already see in the Q&A here is how many advisors are using RPAG. The number is well into the thousands at this point. And again, we have advisors that are in all 50 states. Now, one of the things I want to touch on with that is, one, again, all of our resources can be private labeled. So all of the resources can have your branding on it. And two, all of our resources, we put out hundreds of pieces of content every year. So I guarantee that you're not going to come across too many other, see other marketing materials that are a lot like yours. We have so much material that it's hard to come across two pieces that are alike. And then another question that's in here is, do we partner with broker dealers and RIAs to provide discounts? Yes, absolutely. One advisor in here is asking about a specific broker dealer, and I will follow up with you specifically because we do offer that broker dealer a discount. So I will let you know what the pricing looks like for that. I'll follow up with you with an email. So back to our service and support that we offer here. I wanted to kind of put some faces to the teams that I referenced there. These are just a few of our fantastic team members that'll be helping you all if you decide to utilize our platform. So everyone from Leah, Nick, and Carlos on the relationship management side to Kellen and Matt on the investment side. We have a lot of different team members that will be there to help you with pretty much everything that you need regarding your retirement plan business. The best example I can give you is, I mentioned earlier we have an in-house ERISA team. So you can actually send RPAG support ERISA related questions, and one of our ERISA experts will actually respond directly to you via email and give you some ERISA guidance. It's a really powerful resource that you can leverage as being part of the RPAG network. So that's a little bit about our service and support. And the very last thing I want to touch on along those lines is our onboarding. So we have a very stringent and robust onboarding process that we take every firm through that uses RPAG. So everything from getting you initially set up to getting your plan data, feeding into RPAG on a monthly basis, to then teaching you and your team how to utilize all of your different resources that you'll have at your fingertips. The RPAG customer success team is going to be there for you to allow you to do that. We're going to be there for as much or as little onboarding support as you like. So we'll offer, weekly calls for as long as you like to make sure you're up to date on how to use everything. And then we'll also be there in a reactive role going forward. So, if you hire a new team member and want them to get trained on RPAG, you can send them along to us and we'll train them. Or, perhaps you might not remember how to run a specific report in RPAG. You can actually pick up the phone, give our support team a call, and they will walk you through step by step how to create the specific report or deliverable that you're looking for. So again, we are a service company with really good technology, and we want to make sure that you get the maximum value out of that technology. And that's what our customer success team is there to do. So speaking of technology, let's talk a little bit about some of the technology resources that you're going to have access to. The first thing, and one of the original purposes of the RPAG Advisor portal, was to aggregate all of your plan data in one place with one login, so that you don't have to go to 5 or 6 different record keeper websites to look at different segments of your book of business. With RPAG, you'll have one login that'll allow you to view all of your plans regardless of who the record keeper is. The way that we do that is through a system that we call Plan Asset Link, or PAL for short. And what PAL is a monthly data feed that we've set up with over 60 of the top record keepers in the retirement plan industry to have your plan asset information feeding into RPAG every month automatically. So no longer will you need to manually update plan asset information by hand every month. RPAG, with our link with the record keepers, will do this for you. So every month you'll see updated plan asset information, so that when you're running reports through RPAG, you'll always have up-to-date asset information for that plan. Over here on the right-hand side is a list of not even all of the record keepers that we have on our system, but we have all of the kind of household names, the biggest record keepers in the industry, tons of smaller regional record keepers as well. And even we work with some custodians like Matrix and Mid-Atlantic to get feeds from even smaller record keepers. So there's a really, really good chance that we'll be able to get your plan data feeding into the RPAG system every month. One other thing on this note that I want to mention is the integrity of the data. We have a data team that their whole job is to receive the data feeds from these record keepers and ensure the accuracy of that data. So we work with all the different record keepers to ensure that the information is not only coming in on a timely basis, but it's also coming in accurately, so you have confidence in the data that's showing up in your reporting. One thing I should have mentioned earlier too is I'm more than happy to send out this presentation along with any sample reports as follow-up for today's call. And if you have any questions about specific record keepers that we get feeds from or how that gets set up, just feel free to reach out to me. All my contact information will be in this presentation as well. So putting that plan asset information into practice, what does that look like? Starting at kind of the highest level is the advisor IQ dashboard and reporting. So through the RPAG advisor portal, you will have the ability to pull up on one screen your entire retirement plan business in a slick and easy to use dashboard. So with a moment's notice, you can look at, how many plans you have with each record keeper, who on your team has the highest assets under management, things like that. The other thing that's really great about this dashboard is there is a significant amount of reporting that comes along with this dashboard. So there is dozens of different report templates that you can pull into Excel format that give you insights on your retirement plan book of business. So, for instance, if you wanted to pull a list of all of your plans that hold a particular mutual fund and the total amount of assets that you have across your book of business with that fund manager, you can do that. Or if you wanted to pull a list of all of your clients and your key contacts, or even, pulling a list of all of your plans and the revenue that you receive from each plan. All of that can be done with just a couple clicks through the RPAG advisor portal. So not only are you going to have a significant amount of client-facing reporting that you can do through RPAG, but also a lot of business intelligence reporting that'll give you quick and easy access to all the information regarding your retirement book of business. So with that being said, I wanted to touch on a couple of the different plan level reporting options that you have available through RPAG. Now, I'm only going to be highlighting some of the most commonly used plan level reporting options, but there's even more reporting that we offer that I won't be touching on here. So again, I really recommend that you reach out to me directly after today's webinar if you want to take a really deep dive into RPAG and all the different things that we have to offer. So the first piece is the investment reporting that we use through RPAG. So RPAG, through that same advisor portal that we've been talking about, allows you to do really in-depth and introspective investment reporting, plan level investment reporting. So we've created a 10-point scoring system that is proprietary to RPAG that you can utilize with your clients that gives a really robust and comprehensive breakdown of how fit a investment vehicle is to be included in a retirement plan, broken down to a very easy to understand 10-point score. One of the other nice things about the RPAG system is we have different scoring methodologies for different types of funds. And where this comes into play most often is evaluating index or passive funds. So, in most other scoring systems, what you'll see is index funds are typically poorly rated because they are put into a universe with, active large cap value funds and that sort of thing. We here at RPAG, through our 10-point scoring methodology, are evaluating a fund not only based on its return performance, but also its how well the fund meets its stated investment objective. So if an investment manager's objective is to track an index, a big part of how we're going to evaluate that fund is how well it tracks that index, and along with some other things. So from a high level, our 10-point scoring system goes over style, risk return, peer group performance, and then a 2-point qualitative metric that mainly focuses on manager tenure and fund expenses within the peer group. So with our scoring system, you have a wide variety of reports that you can run, whether it's a quarterly investment report that you want to provide to clients, or target date fund analyzers, stable value fund analyzers and screening tools, even fund mapping and proposals tools. All of those resources are available with a click of a button. One last piece about the RPAG investment reporting is that efficiency is the name of the game when you're talking about technology. And so one of the best pieces of the RPAG advisor portal is that every quarter, when we release our quarterly performance information on funds, you can actually click a couple buttons and have the RPAG portal run multiple investment reviews at one time. So instead of you having to do reports one by one, if you have 30 plans in your book of business, you can click a button and have the system run 30 investment review reports at one time, which is a huge time saver in terms of your quarterly reporting process. So a lot of efficiency gain with the technology that we offer here. Moving on from the investment portion of what we provide, we also provide you with a wide suite of RFP and fee benchmarking tools. So with RFP and fee benchmarking, one of the things we hear a lot from advisors in the industry is that, there's no RFP or fee benchmarking report that's one size fits all, that's going to, provide just the right amount of information and just the right amount of time spent on the plan. Because, it would be great if we took every client and prospect out to a live bid analysis and got proposals. But the time spent that requires you to do that makes going after certain plans unprofitable. And so with RPAG's suite of RFP and fee benchmarking tools, you have a suite of reports that you can access that fit every different situation that you might come across when going after a client and prospect. So, everything from a live bid report, like the provider analysis, where you can customize it to include your firm's branding. Over 500 plus data points can be included in this report. And really the way that this report works is you can go out to record keepers and request proposals based on plan information that's already in the RPAG system. And the neat thing is that the record keepers, in response to your requests, they actually upload their proposals back into RPAG for you. In turn, the RPAG system puts those proposals into a really easy to understand apples to apples format for you to then present to your client or prospect. And so, if a plan is, hasn't been out to bid with their current advisor in a while, and you want to show them, potentially how much money they could save if they hired you as an advisor, this is a great resource to go across. Also a great resource to run every 3 to 5 years with your current clients to make sure you're doing your appropriate amount of due diligence and why the plan should stay with their current record keeper. But if you're looking for something a little more streamlined than that, maybe something that you can run in, let's say, 30 seconds, the Prism and Prism 365 reports are going to be what you're going to look for. The Prism report is a really easy and simple 5-page report that you can run through the RPAG system that benchmarks record keeping, TPA, investment, and advisory fees. Now, the difference between the Prism report and the provider analysis that I just touched on is the Prism report compares the current plan that you're working on to thousands of plans of similar sizes in the RPAG database so that you can put into context with your client or prospect how much, say their record keeping fee is based on plans of similar sizes. So what it does is it really helps a plan sponsor understand based on their plan size if they might be overpaying for advisory services, investment management, record keeping, TPA fees. So it's a really good initial conversation starter with both prospects and clients alike. And again, in my opinion, the best part of this report, it can be run in about 30 seconds. A couple clicks of a button and you have a nice report that you can take to a client. The Prism 365 report specifically focuses on advisor fees and services. So if you're looking to benchmark your advisor service model versus other advisors in the industry, the Prism 365 report will allow you to do that. And that report focuses on investment services, RFP and fee benchmarking, fiduciary services, as well as employee education as well. So maybe you're an advisor that charges more than your typical advisor because of the amount of service that you provide. The Prism 365 report is a fantastic deliverable to justify your fee and show that why, even though your fee might be a little bit more than the average advisor, that the plan sponsor would be getting more than what they pay for based on the service model that you'd be providing. And then the latest and greatest in terms of RPAG reporting is the RFP Express report, which marries the ease and efficiency that you get through the Prism reports with the accuracy and live bid aspect of the provider analysis report. So the RFP Express report is really neat. What RPAG did is we went out to 30 of the top record keepers in the industry and had them provide us with their fee schedules, and we digitized them. And so in turn, what that allows for advisors that use our platform to do is they can go right on RPAG and say, hey, I've got a $3.5 million plan that's got 50 participants with, $200,000 in annual cash flow. And then once they put that information into our system and click a button, our system cross-references that plan information with the 30 plus fee schedules that we have from record keepers and gives you instantaneous pricing that is applicable and real to that plan. So if you're looking to put together a quick proposal for a client or prospect and you want to give them an idea on what their pricing would look like at different record keepers, and you want to do it in a couple minutes as opposed to a couple weeks, RFP Express is going to be what you're going to look for. Lastly, and this might be my favorite thing about RFP Express is, one of the things that we're seeing more and more across the advisor landscape is custom PEP, MEP, and 338 products. And so what RPAG can actually do for you is build your custom MEP, PEP, et cetera product into RFP Express so that you can instantaneously put together a side-by-side comparison of that product versus, traditional products from other record keepers or even other MEP and PEP products across the industry. So this is something that we're seeing advisors really start to lean on and utilize very heavily to save time in terms of servicing their clients and prospects. One of the things I always tell advisors when I'm talking about the service model and how RPAG can help you win business is it's not just giving you every tool in your toolbox to go out and impress a prospect. While that's a huge part of what we do, the other piece of what we do is giving you the efficiency through technology to help your practice remain profitable. Like I mentioned earlier with the investment reporting, instead of spending, a team member, spending a couple weeks every quarter putting together your quarterly reports, you can take that down to a couple of minutes. And so your team members have more capacity to complete other tasks, and you yourself have more capacity to go out and continuously talk to new prospects and turn them into clients. So the RPAG system is the easiest to use in the retirement industry. And again, I'd be happy to show you that in a one-on-one capacity as well. So moving on into some of the other deliverables that we have through RPAG, one thing that's starting to gain a lot of traction and a lot of our advisors that currently use our system are using to differentiate themselves is the fiduciary fitness program and other fiduciary governance deliverables. The fiduciary fitness program is a plan sponsor education resource that you can use to help educate your plan sponsor clients on how to continuously minimize their fiduciary liability. So taking them through step by step, everything from, what does it mean to be a fiduciary on a retirement plan to, selecting and monitoring service providers. We have education templates and PowerPoints that we have pre-built for you. We also have those education modules in video format as well. And then the nice thing with the fiduciary fitness program is we not only give you the educational materials to educate your client on these important topics, but we also have corresponding action items that can document your client's prospect through the fiduciary fitness program. So everything from, investment policy statement templates, investment committee charter templates, to 404C compliance checklists, and so much more. We have all of those compliance and fiduciary templates available for you so that you can track your client's progress and make sure that they're dotting their I's and crossing their T's, so to speak. The resource that we've built within the RPAG Advisor Portal to help track your client's progress through fiduciary fitness is the fiduciary diagnostic, where you can directly through the RPAG Advisor Portal mark off what education modules you've taken your client through and what documentation pieces that you've had them complete as well to satisfy those ERISA requirements. We even have built into the RPAG system a plan sponsor facing fiduciary briefcase, which is a online 24/7 accessible fiduciary online fiduciary file that you as the advisor can upload reports and other important pieces of documentation with one click into, so that your plan sponsor at any time or any day can log into and access those important pieces of documentation. This is also a fantastic resource to leverage in case of an audit. So if you ever have a plan get audited, you can have a plan spot, or you can turn over a login to an auditor, and all of the important pieces that an auditor would need would be available in that fiduciary briefcase. And then wrapping up here with a couple of other important resources that we have. A couple things here that I wanted to fill out. I already mentioned this, but the RPAG Target Date Fund Analyzer is a really commonly used report by our advisors when going out to prospects particularly. And what this Target Date Fund Analyzer specifically focuses on is the target date series that the plan is currently utilizing the best fit for the needs of the participants within that plan. And so the way that this report determines that is by going through a fit analysis based on the behaviors of the participants in the plan. And then based on the responses to that fit analysis, the RPAG system will provide specific recommendations on target date series that we have in our system that match the needs of those participants. And then Through selection, the advisor can put together a side-by-side comparison of the different target date series that they want to show, and give their client some options on what exactly would be the best fit for them. So the target date analyzer is something that our advisors are continuously using to win new business. One other thing I want to point out here, if you notice on the right-hand side of the screen, I have a quick snapshot of what the report looks like. And you'll notice here, there's some kind of navy blue branding. You see the RPAG logo on there. This and a lot of our other reports can be completely private labeled to match your firm's branding. So you can change the color scheme to match your firm's branding and even replace the RPAG logo with your logo so that it's a report that looks native to your company. And you can also customize the contents within it as well. So even if there are two different retirement advisory firms that are competing for the same business, there's a really good chance that the two reports will look nothing alike. With that being said, with that kind of customization available, the reports are still remarkably easy to put together and add a lot of efficiency to your servicing process. In the same vein of that target date fund analyzer, we also have a stable value analyzer that allows you to screen specifically for stable value and GIC funds. So, if you're looking for, a stable value fund that matches a certain set of criteria, a certain crediting rate, performance, duration, that sort of thing, you can put that criteria into our system, and then the RPAG system will automatically match that criteria to stable value or GIC funds that satisfy the criteria that you put in. And then, of course, you can put those stable value or GIC funds into a comparison report like what you see on the right-hand side there, that give all of the important information to your client on those different fund options that they have. Lastly, here on the reporting side, one thing that has come up a lot in our industry over the last couple of years is rollovers, and specifically the legislation Prohibited Transaction Exemption 2020-02, more commonly known as PTE 2020-02, which provides some guidance on how advisors should be documenting rollovers. So if you're taking participants through the rollover process, there are pretty stringent guidelines that you need to follow on, what you need to be documenting. And so RPAG within the advisor portal built a step-by-step report that you can take your client through that makes sure that you're satisfying that legislation and documenting all of the necessary data points. And then you can export that into a report that you can then keep on file, obviously for compliance purposes. So this is another one that we're hearing a lot. So if you're an advisor that works a lot with individual participants, or maybe you have an individual wealth side of your book of business, this rollover ready report is fantastic to help kind of bridge that gap. And then wrapping up here in terms of the resources on the technology side, I mentioned earlier that RPAG is a practice management platform, and in my opinion, the practice management aspect of our advisor portal is really what sets us apart from other platforms in the industry. A lot of different platforms have reporting capabilities, but there's no other platform like RPAG in the industry that gives you all of those different reporting capabilities in one spot, as well as help you manage the workflow of your retirement side of your book of business. So a couple of ways that we help you do that is through a service plan that'll be found on every single plan page in RPAG. The service plan is a 12-month timeline that you can fill out for any of your plans in our system, and it maps out what services you're going to be providing to a plan over a 12-month period. So, if you're providing a semi-annual investment review, one in February and one in July, You can mark that in your system so you can keep that up to date and pull that up at a moment's notice. The other thing that's great about this service plan is this service plan integrates with our task management system that's built into the RPAG Advisor portal. And so as you have meetings and other to-do items approaching, our system will send you a notification that says, hey, you've got an investment review meeting coming up with plan ABC. You should go ahead and create that report so that you have your workflow tracked for your retirement plans, and also can ensure that team members and other folks in your organization are completing tasks as they're assigned to them. So the service plan is a great resource to utilize to make sure you're keeping on top of all the different things you need to do for your retirement plan clients. And then from a documentation perspective, post meeting, right? You need to document, create an executive summary of what you talked about with a plan. RPAG has an automated meeting minutes feature built into the advisor portal. So with a couple of clicks of a button, you can select a report that you've run through RPAG, and RPAG will automatically create a meeting minutes template for you with information that's specific to that report. So if you just ran an investment review report that gives some market commentary and, evaluates the funds that are in the lineup, maybe you're proposing a fund change, you can click a button and all of that information will automatically pull into a nice 1 to 1.5 page template that you can then keep on file. So this also syncs with the fiduciary briefcase as well. So with a couple clicks, you create your executive summary of the meeting that you've had with your client, and then you can upload it into the fiduciary briefcase. So again, at a moment's notice, if your client wants to know what you discussed in your Q2 2021 investment review meeting, they can easily pull up the meeting minutes through the fiduciary briefcase. As someone that has spent a lot of time putting together meeting minutes and typing them into a Word document format, this is easily the biggest time saver that you're going to see in the RPAG Advisor portal. Again, freeing up your team members and operations folks to complete other more meaningful tasks. In the same vein, we also have a meeting agendas creation template that you can use, that you can private label to your firm, so that if you want to create a nice professional looking meeting agendas, you can click a couple buttons and automatically put that into a nice format for your client or prospect to look at. Again, big time saver. Cuts down on a lot of the time taken by manually creating these. And then lastly, notes. Client calls you up out of the blue and asks you some questions, and you want to make sure you log that call or that interaction with a client. There's a place within RPAG that allows you to log that interaction with a client, and even tie a task or to-do item to that interaction. So one of the things you might be noticing through these last couple of resources is that RPAG is built a lot like a CRM system would be. In fact, we have a lot of advisors that use our system that use it as their standalone retirement plan CRM system. Now, with that being said, if you utilize a separate CRM system, like say a Salesforce or Redtail or one of those sorts of systems, the RPAG system can create an API connection that feeds information from RPAG into your CRM system automatically, so that you're not manually maintaining two different databases. So as RPAG is automatically receiving data from record keepers and digesting that into our system, we are then automatically in turn feeding that information into your Salesforce, Redtail, et cetera. So another great efficiency piece that a lot of our advisors are leveraging pretty heavily. And then lastly here is the biggest differentiator that we have outside of our technology solutions, and that is our CIT platform. So a few years ago, RPAG started leveraging our size and scale by going to several of the top mutual fund managers in the industry, the Putnam large caps of the world, JP Morgan, ClearBridge, American Century, Invesco, et cetera. And what we did was we created CITs that are exclusive to advisory firms that use our platform. The CITs are the exact same strategy as the mutual funds. Putnam Large Cap Value, for example. The CIT through RPAG is the same strategy as the mutual fund. The only difference is the RPAG CIT is much less expensive than the mutual fund counterpart. And it also has no investment minimums. So you can provide top investments at really, really great pricing to startup plans and things like that. So outside of our technology, this is a differentiator that advisors are using across the industry right now as CITs become more and more popular to make sure that they are staying competitive and saving their clients money. Because at the end of the day, if you can go in and show a prospect that you can give them a fund that screens 10 out of 10 at 50% cheaper than any other advisor can give it to them, it'll be hard for them to turn you away from that. So we've touched on a lot here, and lastly, here in the back of this presentation that I'll be sure to send out to everyone across this webinar is the marketing support, giving kind of a recap of what we had talked about earlier. So again, we have newsletters, flyers and one-pagers, presentation content, webinar resources, all of that we create for you, post it on our website, and then you can download, put your label on it, and present it to clients and prospects. So again, another way that we're making sure that you're saving time, being efficient, and keeping your practice profitable. So like I mentioned at the beginning of the call here, my contact information is on the screen. So I really encourage you, if you would like to take a deeper dive into the resources that we have available, or you'd like to see an actual live demo of our advisor portal, and things like that, please feel free to shoot me an email. My email's there at the bottom of this slide, luke.vandermillen@rpag.com. I would be more than happy to answer any questions that you have, run sample reports for you, anything that I can do to help you gather information about why you should use RPAG. I'm happy to do that.